Hey friend, Happy New Year, Happy January, or maybe you're listening to this a little bit ahead of the time or at some other part of the year. If you're looking for content ideas for your business, you know that creating long form content is a really manageable and sustainable and fun way when you get into blogging and podcasting and doing video to showcase your authority in your business, talk about your expertise, and help people learn about what you do and what you offer. So today's show, we're going to talk all about some content ideas for the beginning of the year, specifically the month of January, that you can use, adapt for your business, and share on all the platforms that you love to get yourself out there. Here are our January content ideas. Hey friend, if you are an online business owner who would love to grow your brand online, focus on the right marketing strategies for you, and be able to promote your business with confidence, then let's connect. My name is Jessica Wangelin. I'm a wife and a mom of two, and I've been an online business owner for more than 10 years. I'm passionate about helping women to love their branding and rock their content. I invite you to join in as we talk marketing, branding, motivation, content creation, and productivity to make great things happen in your business today. You have amazing things to accomplish, friend, so let's get started. Hey friend, well, here it is. Okay, so we're releasing this episode a little bit late in the month for January. Usually when I am going to put out content ideas for the month to help you, give you some ideas about how to share your message and how to share your business online, it's usually going to be at the beginning of the year. But if you've seen a little bit on my Facebook business page, I had a surgery this year, 23, the middle of January. And so took a little bit of a slow season, really didn't get into the year so far. It is actually a week after my surgery. I'm literally just kind of starting to get back into work, getting dressed, putting on makeup, all the things. And so you can read about that story a little bit on my page and things like that. So January content ideas. Again, when I put these out, it's going to be toward the beginning of the month. And the idea for that is to help you make a plan for how to share information to your audience. You know that one of the major pillars of things that I talk about is creating long form sustainable content that can be really fun, a fun way for you to showcase your authority for your business. These days, I really do think, and now in 23 and beyond, that blogging and long form content is going to be back. I think people are really shifting away from short form content consumption and quite honestly, like this social hustle of just being not really sure, not being consistent, being so overwhelmed with thinking you have to post every day to make things happen in your business and get customers, that I think long form content is really coming back. And so that's what I talk about in my business. I do marketing and branding and content creation ideas for online entrepreneurs so that you can show up online with confidence and that you can have a sustainable and fun way of sharing your message and earning income through your business. And so this show is about January content ideas. Now, a lot of you listening to this, you're probably in business yourself. You probably offer some kind of services in some way, copywriting, or you're an affiliate type blogger, or you're just starting to do services for people, or maybe you're in some other type of business. I would love to know what that is. Find me on Instagram and tell me. But these are ideas that are going to cover a lot of different areas and topic areas, specifically just generally related to things that kind of would happen at the new year that we talk about, right? And one of the major things is like New Year's resolutions and goal setting. Some people are kind of over that. Some people really love to do it at the beginning of the year. Some people just think, a new year isn't necessarily a time when you have to start talking about new goals, but it really can be. And so go ahead and just run with the theme of the new year in terms of creating new ideas. So our first idea for January content to talk about with your audience is to talk about what kind of things they are refreshing and renewing and redoing at the beginning of the year. This doesn't necessarily have to be resolutions. In fact, I think a really creative way that you can go about doing this is to ask your audience or tell them yourself, of course, in your content, what are some things that you should give up on? Maybe some things you want to leave in the past. What is that list of things? Are there ways that you can help your client get from a point A maybe to a point C, where you can let them just like bless and release and get a little further ahead by not doing things in their business? You could also really offer tips and resources for like how to stick to goals that they've actually set. If you find people are making goals again and again and you're not getting there, that's a great way to do that. How about even if you brainstorm a list of achievable goals that your client can set. People love to just get ideas for that kind of thing. And it's really nice to see. Like, I saw somebody post the other day on Instagram about things they were leaving behind in the new year. And it was like a really dynamic list. It was like, I'm giving up, like, I don't want to watch streaming services anymore. I want to focus on reading. I'm giving up not feeling good enough. I'm focusing on walking at the gym. Just what are the things that people can kind of get in touch with that are going to help them feel refreshed and great in the new year? So that's an idea of what to do in the month of January. What are some new year things that you can share with your audience? It's a fun way to think about. The second idea, now I know this is only applicable to a certain portion of an audience, but if you're someone that likes to showcase more lifestyle things, here are a couple of ideas that you can share, of course, with your audiences, whether you're a blogger that talks about these kind of things, or you just share and sprinkle these in as part of a lifestyle effort that you offer into your audience. So winter fashion, what are some of the great things you're doing for winter? I did a capsule wardrobe recently and it was so much fun. It was just a really great thing to do to focus on you and the way you look and show up every day. So that was a really fun thing to do. I'll share my Amazon favorites, of course, here in the show notes if you want to see that. But talk to people about like things that are related to the winter season, like comfort food recipes, right? Like what are some things that people want to focus on nutrition wise? So say you're in the nutrition and wellness field. What are recipes or things like that people can do, not only just with food, but with like a morning ritual kind of recipe, or here are some new recipes for drinks that people can focus on. Are there things like that you can share content wise that you include into like your topics on your blog or your YouTube channel or things like that? Don't forget, if you are someone that offers more of a business and you're not necessarily in the lifestyle thing, it's a really great idea to talk about the overall like niche of a person and the persona and the things that they're experiencing in their lifestyle. I think that's going to be, and I'm going to talk about this actually in a show coming up soon, about what are some great marketing ideas to do and talking about like a persona niche and not necessarily very specific, only business related kind of niche thing. So here's a couple of ideas, more ideas for the month of January, content type things that you can share with your audience. This also goes along with if you are in the wellness space, talking about self-care. People tend to like kind of want to get back to some of that when the new year happens. You just focus on yourself, you're focusing on your wellness, both physically and mentally, right? What are some specific self-care tips and ideas, such as creating, relaxing home day, practicing mindfulness, or finding ways to reduce stress? If you're in those kind of fields, it's a really great way to express, your message for your business with your audience. And then, of course, next, and this applies to all areas, I think, regardless of the business that you do, what are some organizational ideas that you want your customers or clients or your audience to know about? How can they organize their home office around running a business from home with kids there? How can they organize just like their desktop setup and their folders and things like that? Maybe you're somebody that offers organization tips specifically to keep your email under control. Talk about organization in terms of that. We all love to declutter and do all that this time of year. So you can do both of those. That really works well, both for your clients as a business owner. You can share how you organize what you do. How do you organize your day-to-day as a business owner? And then give them the next steps to get to that goal as well. Then we'll just throw in fitness here too. So again, like wellness, fitness, goals, if you're in that type of industry, what do you do that are fitness related things this time of year? If one of your resolutions to get in shape, just consider sharing your journey. People like to know the simplest things. So say you're going to take up walking or you're going to take up some weight training, which I think I'm actually going to do this year. I feel kind of called for that. I'm excited about it. Offer advice and encouragement to your audience. I think it's so fascinating to see those little behind the scenes tips and moments and things like that you can share with people to help them just get to know you a little bit better, right? You could write about your workouts or share healthy recipes or tips for staying hydrated and such. Those are really great things to do. And don't forget, these content ideas don't necessarily have to be only long form content that you're doing. These simple things I've rattled off, even a couple right now, you could very easily share these in your stories every day if stories is where you're focusing on. You can make reels about them to talk about the lifestyle component of it, of course, and then you're doing videos or long form or whatever type of content that you really love and really works for you and your business. So next idea for January content is travel planning. Of course, if you're someone that helps people, if you're in a business that arranges travel with people, I know there's a lot of people that offer that services. Now's a great time to start the planning. Share your travel goals, destination ideas, and even like budgeting tips for saving for trips or things like that. If you're someone that talks about mom life and all those kind of things, how can you help people save for a trip? You could do a series of posts on different travel destinations and see what to do there. Now, here's a little turn and a flip on the travel idea thing. Again, if you're someone that talks about business, if you run a business specifically, you're teaching people about business skills and tips, you could talk to people about what kind of conferences might be coming up in the year that you know of, and you want to give them ideas about where to go. If you know someone, if coaching programs that you're in or things like that are offering like tours or things like that, write about those ideas. What are some great places that, conferences and things that they should attend this year that they know of? Wouldn't that be super fun to do? So here's another great content idea for January, of course. Really great time to talk about book recommendations. You should always have a really great blog post written out or content or video that talks about all the top books that you love that are related to the business that you do. What are 5 or 7 book recommendations that you think are just like absolute must reads for anybody in your audience? Wouldn't that be really great to know? Let's talk about them in like a monthly kind of book style roundup post, or like particular titles related to like a specific, area that you want to talk about. You could do one a month. It is a book club. That could be super fun. That's a content idea for the whole year, really. And then you should always have those, for example, that are related to what you think people will help learn from what you're sharing in book style. So like if you're working with someone and you feel like a particular book would be helpful for them to read before you actually work with them, I do that as well. How to Build a Story Brand, of course, is a very popular and very good book about getting people prepared for branding work and doing their information and creating their business online and all those things. So here's another idea for the month of January that you can talk about for your business in terms of getting your content out there are product reviews. What if you have done something that's related specifically for this time of year that you want to share with someone? So if you've tried out something new recently, consider sharing those with your audience. Of course, you could do this monthly. This doesn't really just apply to January. Definitely have a series of reviews. Maybe there are seasonal related things that you want to talk about. This specific content idea works super great for affiliate entrepreneurs. So round up your favorite tech software, your book ideas that we just said, skincare items, or some other collection that specifically relates to your readers. And since you can monetize that kind of content, of course, it's a super win-win to include in any kind of content topic that you do. When you're putting out blog posts, you can always have a really like call out section of the post that says, here are the things I mentioned in this blog post. These are affiliate links. Make sure you provide your disclosures. Click to find them here. That's a great thing to do when you talk about, product reviews and including anything that you relate to the advice you're giving for your audience, right? And then lastly, a super great topic for the month of January, because we're all kind of thinking a little bit about that refreshing in the new year, is personal growth and development, right? The start of the new year is a perfect time for that. Share your journey and your experiences. See if there's stories that you can tell and offer advice for people and encouragement to your audience. You could also write about topics such as goal setting, like we had talked about, or finding your passion, if that's one of the things that you focus on. I got some really great products recently in a bundle that I participated in, and they were just like topics about so many different things that you would never think. Like one of them was like an audio mini podcast about like just getting out of your way, mental clarity, things like that. Another one was about organizing your family photos, which is really fun. Or then like overcoming challenges and things like that you can do, or like what are some trends that people are seeing in business. So all of those things are really fun to connect with in terms of personal growth and development. And then recommend them, like the current courses or things that you're using specifically right now. Like, did you buy a course recently? What are the things that you can tell your audience about? I think it's a really fun thing to put these in like the footer of your email or in a PS and say, hey, this is what I'm currently reading. I saw this amazing deal. You might want to grab it. Just pick one a month and share a review with your audience in that way. So I hope that these have given you some really great ideas to talk about with your business for the month of January. Again, depending on what industry you're in and what you do. But let's just review super quick ideas for the month of January and even really February, starting in the new year. If you want to carry some of these over, break them up. If you're doing like one major evergreen post, this is more than 4, so this can carry you over into a couple months. So New Year's resolutions or goals, things to avoid in the new year. What are some like ways to stick to goals? All of that, like people love goal planning. Oh, I should add in there too, actually the planner part of it. I love talking about my planner. It is like my go-to item every day. I cannot live without my printable planner. I use the Happy Planner, which is just a super simple, the pages can move around. I love it. A lot of options in that planner. Talk about planners in the new year and what ones you do. Do you do digital planning? Do you do printed planners? Things like that. Winter fashion and like food recipes for like drinks, wellness related ideas, things like that. Other ideas for January, we talked about self-care tips. What are things that people can do to focus internally on themselves? How about some organizational ideas? How to organize their business, how to organize any kind of digital component to it, how to organize things to prepare for them to get to the next steps, whatever they're looking to do. Fitness goals. How about fitness? Of course, everyone loves fitness in January. What are some things that you can do to talk to your audience about fitness? Then travel planning, we have that as well. Traveling in terms of going places, exploring. If you talk about, if you're a travel blogger, or if you talk about business related travel, what are some things people can connect to make their plans to build in their vacations early in the year? Book recommendations is another amazing content idea for January. Tell people what books you love. How did you what were really transformative, books and things that you read or listened to that you think would be super amazing for them to. People love recommendations on books. Product reviews, don't forget throwing in product reviews all the time is really helpful. You can make those related to your business or your lifestyle. There's a lot of favorite tech things, that you can talk about, and just lifestyle things that you can talk about in product reviews. And then lastly, personal growth and development. Super fun things to do to share how you're getting from point A to point B. There's so many ideas for this. I hope this helps you get some amazing ideas for your content for the month of January. We will be doing this type of post and this blog post and podcast episode all year long, so stay tuned for one of these every single month. And again, look for the next episode on the Marketing and Mindset podcast very, very soon. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into the show today. If you like what you heard, please make sure to leave us a review to help more people find our show and get all kinds of marketing and mindset tips for their own business. And if you are getting started with your branding, don't forget to grab our Branding Get Started Guide at our site at jessicawangelin.com/branding guide. Until next time.